In the winter of 1735, several settlers departed Burlington with a wagon full of provisions and a hand-drawn claim map, aiming to carve out land deep within the Pine Barrens. Each mile carried them farther from familiarity. The forests were unnervingly quiet, and the cold intensified after sunset. Then, during the night, they heard it, a piercing cry, distant yet deliberate, unlike any known animal. By morning, strange split-hoof impressions circled their campsite, pressed hard into frozen soil. They continued onward, aware now that something unseen was tracking them. Before we go further, take a moment to subscribe and tell us where you're watching from. The journey began before sunrise in late November. The group traveled with a wagon, 2 horses, and a defined mission. Mr. Hargreaves carried a land deed near the Mullica River and intended to secure cedar for shipbuilding. I had been hired to survey a route from the ferry road toward Batstow. Along the way, we agreed to deliver iron nails to the forge and escort Ruth Lanning, a widow, to her sister near Leeds Point. Men Pride led the way, guiding us through sand roads known only to locals. Owen Ream managed the horses, strong-handed and short-tempered. The plan was 4 days through pine and swamp, 2 days back, if the waters allowed. The air never warmed. Pale sand shifted beneath the wagon wheels, exhausting the horses. Pines stood close together, needles short, cones dark. We crossed low ground where cedar water ran brown and metallic, smelling of decay. No fragsterth. Mist collected in hollows, and I kept my survey chain dry while recording measurements. The deed referenced a marked, white oak unseen for decades. I trusted distances over memory that we encountered a charcoal burner near a mound of ash. He warned us of Quaker Bridge, where a cart had recently been lost, and cautioned Ruth not to pass Leeds Point after dark. He offered no explanation. She thanked him calmly, insisting she knew the roads well. He returned to his work without another glance. By noon, the cold was biting. We ate quickly near a cedar stand. Ruth spoke little, but when she did, even Owen listened. Mr. Hargreaves talked of future mills and docks, speaking more to himself than us. The road narrowed to twin ruts, brush growing between them. I marked trees, logged miles, and forced myself to stay alert against the forest's hypnotic sameness that we camped before dusk near a collapsed shed. The fire was small. Darkness fell suddenly, sealing us in. Somewhere beyond the trees, water moved. A fox barked once, then went silent. Men spoke of bog dangers. Ruth warned that sameness concealed subtle signs. Near midnight, a high, sustained cry cut through the forest. It lasted only seconds. No one spoke. The horses shifted. Men stood ready. Then silence returned. Morning frost revealed something worse. The horses had strained against their ties. Around the clearing lay cloven tracks, widespread, long-strided, wrong. Men measured them. The stride exceeded anything natural. Ruth said we should leave immediately. Mr. Hargreaves ordered me to record the location and move on. Inside the shed, I noticed fresh vertical gouges high on the wall, far above a man's reach. I told no one the next day's travel was slow. The road split often. Men chose by smell and ground feel. We crossed iron-stained streams. Ruth found grit in clean cookware. I noticed a broken branch high above, sap still wet. Later, we came upon a deserted farmstead. A pig lay dead, its throat torn clean. The ground was churned. Men refused to enter the house. We moved on before nightfall. That night, the cry returned, closer, sharper. Something crossed the sky between treetops. It moved without sound. We broke camp before dawn. Quaker Bridge. The cry came again as we crossed. Horses panicked, but were guided through. On the far bank, deep claw marks scarred a cedar trunk. No prints held shape below it. Men ordered us onward that we later found an abandoned hut. Inside lay a ledger page warning of night sounds and a hurried departure. Behind the hut, the sand bore a wide, shallow impression, as if something had landed straight down and lifted away. Ruth finally spoke of similar sounds from her childhood. Men pressed us forward. Another crossing. The wagon nearly sank. As we struggled, A shadow passed across the water. No one acknowledged it. We continued. By dusk, we reached another deserted building. Inside, a journal ended with the words, "It knows the roof." The rafters were torn from above. Fresh. That night, something walked the roof. It tested the door. It breathed through the seams. Then came another cry, answered by something deeper in the distance. When the horses screamed, we ran. The shed door was torn open. High claw marks lined the wood. The animals bore signs of contact. We did not sleep. At dawn, we fled toward Batstow. At the forge, we learned the workers had vanished days earlier. A boy spoke of high cries and fused black sand near the trees. The ground where it lay was smooth, cold, and glass-like that we left before dark. The cries followed. Something glided overhead without sound. Later that night, a presence circled us. When Owen fired, we saw only a flash of something vast and leathery. The horses broke free. The wagon tipped. The forest fell silent again. By morning, we were on foot. Blackbirds circled where we had been. The land changed as we moved east. Salt crept into the air, but the feeling of being watched never left. Near evening, men found landing marks, hoof space too far apart, ground pressed as if by wings. His voice lost its calm. The forest no longer felt empty. It felt occupied.